Brand trips pre-COVID time used to be the source of drama, right? So much so that you wouldn't even take notice of what brand was holding that trip. Just for people on it and what they were doing and what they got up to. And now actually after the lockdown COVID times, not much has seemed to change, but it's not so much the influencers on the trip that cause a drama. It's more the choices that the brands make and the way consumers view them. It's not about the influencers arguing on the trips or being hateful or anything like that. And it's more so about the brand and why they invited this person and their cluelessness, I guess we can say. Let's talk about brand trips today, right? How some are good, right? They're not all bad, but how some are also not so great. Before we get into it, please do consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, do please subscribe. I post 3 times a week on this channel. On Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, and over my reaction channel, I post on a Tuesday and a Thursday. Okay, let me first of all tell you about a brand trip I went on, because I want to move this. Okay, so let me tell you first about a brand trip I went on myself with a brand called Space & K. They are like a super classy place where you go and get makeup. The brands within Space & K, so they sell a lot of different brands, are very curated. So it's not just everything children everywhere. It's a British retailer. They sell luxury beauty in general. And they're just an amazing place. My favorite place for makeup tools, fragrance, makeup in general. Love them. And I've worked with them a lot over the years. So I know the kind of people that work for them. I know they're a classy company. So they invited myself and my brother to LA last year. Yeah, it was last year. Which was just one of the most amazing experiences, right? I want to talk about this because I want to show the difference between these trips. We went to Kate Somerville and had facials. We had lunch with COSRX. We went to Disneyland with K18 and got a private tour around Disneyland, which is one of my, if anyone knows me, that's a dream for me. We then went to Milk Studios and watched a demo with some of the new products. There was a photo shoot going on there. Rare Beauty took us to see Taylor Swift. And then to top the whole thing off, we flew from LA to Vegas with Space & K to see Adele. One of the best things ever. Listen, I've always said I would never go on a brand trip. I would never. But when it was with Space & K, and I know how classy they are, like I said, I've worked with them a lot before, I was like, absolutely, I'll go with you. Because I knew it was gonna be super classy, super chilled out. I mean, we were busy, we did a lot, but you didn't feel any like pressure. And they also put a really great group of people together. And it was a really great time. And the reason I want to tell you this is because what I liked about the trip is we really got to know every single brand, their products, the founders, their history. It was a really good mix of like fun activities, but also getting some knowledge in there also. And I tell you this because sometimes I look at brand trips and I'm like, who's the brand? Who are you with? It just seems like they've paid for a load of people to go on vacation rather than having these brand experiences. Like, everyone just get on this boat and smile. Don't worry about the products, just smile on this boat. Let's talk about some of the issues with these brand trips, right? I'm gonna come back to my points there. Let's talk about some of the issues with these brand trips, and let's start with the people that I invited on these trips. Oh my God, my eyes are so itchy. You know when your eyelashes just itch? Ugh. One thing that I do love about online in general is people are held accountable, which is great. You fuck up, you do something stupid, you do something potentially harmful to your audience, they'll call you out. So when consumers, not just me, consumers, and you can see this from proof in comments and things like that, when they see people on brand trips who they not just dislike, but who perhaps have done something that warrants calling them out for, when they see these people on these brand trips, they're like, why are you there? Perhaps people they consider unlikable, untrustworthy, morally corrupt. You automatically think, okay, this brand then aligns their thoughts with this person. They lie about a sponsorship. That brand loves people who lie about sponsorships. They say that they love their son more than their daughter. That happened. Not technically. The brand love that, you know? Because they invited these people with a shitty background or with drama in their backgrounds. Surely, now if I was a brand and I was doing a trip, I would look into the people I was taking. It's so easy to type in someone's name into Google and put something racist, something drama, and see what comes up, you know, because it will. So there's a few issues with brands doing this, with ignoring perhaps the drama surrounding these people and inviting these people on these trips. Say, for example, a brand invites somebody who has just been in drama and actually maybe perhaps had to make an apology or explain what they did because what they did was actually wrong. And then people see this influencer on your brand trip, on your boat, getting sunburn, a lot of people are going to be annoyed. I mean, it's not going to affect their sleep, but they're going to be annoyed and be like, oh, okay, I'm probably not going to buy from your brand again because you have aligned yourself with this person. There's a saying that people bring up, which kind of, I think, is old-fashioned when they're talking about drama and these influencers that get heavily into it or get called out and stuff, where they're like, all press is good press for influencers. I don't think that's the case for a lot of brands. Influencers maybe, but brands, not so much. Brands getting in trouble does have consequences. Brands doing stupid things does have consequences if they're called out enough. For example, we've just seen YouthForia. YouthForia have been dropped by a few of their retailers since they did that bullshit with a foundation. I'll put the video here and link it down below. The power of consumer outrage is quite powerful, and it's noticed by brands, and if people make enough noise about it, people take notice. And we've also seen that if some influencers act up too much, they can ruin themselves. Not completely, but here's the other side, a method that perhaps the brands are using, and now I don't agree with it, just before we go into it, I don't agree with this method. And it's not really a long-term solution because people outgrow immaturity and stupidity, right? People get bored of it. But if an influencer really fucks up, like does something really stupid, yes, they are in the drama, and yes, people may see them for who they really are. But what about the people that stick around with that influencer? Okay, hear me out. What about the people that excuse, for example, a racist tweet, racism in general? Perhaps they said something homophobic, perhaps they said something transphobic, or they excuse something generally cancelable. Or perhaps they don't mind the influencer lying in a sponsorship, not disclosing it or something like that. This person, now stay with me here, this kind of person that excuses all that for an influencer, excuses all that, and it's like, oh, people are being so petty, whatever. Those people are super impressionable, right? They don't care about honesty. They don't care about integrity. They don't care that they are being literally lied to. They don't care. They don't mind that the influencer is openly lying to them and not giving a fuck about it. There's power in that for the influencer. That's cult-like. Okay, I mean, it's not that intense cult-like, but it's verging on. But for those supporters who have no self-worth, that may be a little bit harsh, you know what I mean though, they are so impressionable that maybe they would buy from a brand taking this cancelled or cancelable person on this trip. That concentrated group of people that idolize that person, that influencer, through all the negativity, through all the proof being put out, through all the receipts, through all the history. They have stuck around and they don't care, they just love this person. That concentrated group of people may have more value to the brand, that impressionable group of people. Does that make sense? Am I describing it properly? I feel like the power in people who are easily manipulated and don't care that they are being manipulated or lied to or something like that are more likely to fall for the purchase this because I'm on a boat, purchase this because I had dinner, you know, kind of vibe. That's my thought on the people invited, right? But it also depends on what platform you share it on. There are people on TikTok who maybe aren't on YouTube, for example, and that person may not be supported on YouTube. The YouTube audience might be like, we're not taking that bullshit here, we've done that already. And I want to talk about the people invited because there's always a suggestion I see about brand trips in general, and one of the suggestions from a lot of people is, why don't these brands just take genuine, real customers who spend a lot of money on their products, who maybe aren't content creators, or maybe they don't have a huge following. Why don't they take these people on a trip, give them something back, right? And that's a really nice idea. I think that's a really nice idea. However, one thing I would have to say about that, and I'm going to put on my horrible business person head frame here with no sympathy or empathy, and just say, where's the benefit in that, right? I know, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we have to be real to the brand. Where is the benefit in that in terms of social media? For me, a brand rewarding their customers is something very beneficial. But a lot of the time, the content that these influencers put online leads to a sale, right? That's what they want. The brands want to make money. So Martin and Claire, for example, who love Evian, just for example, aren't going to be invited on a £1 million trip without a sale coming from it. So rewarding their customers who buy the most, I mean, you can't really keep track of that easily. I guess you maybe could, depending. And they could set it up in a way where probably they could track it. But say they did do this. Say a brand did it. Say Evian, I don't know, I keep using this just because they're right next to me, was like, everyone, we are going to celebrate our biggest customers, most loyal customers who purchase the most by taking them, giving them a chance, because there's going to be thousands of people, millions maybe, giving them a chance to win a once in a lifetime trip. And they do this once a year and it's their trip, right? And it's up to the people who buy the most. What are you going to do if you want to go on this trip? You're going to buy a lot of products. If you really want to go, you'll buy a lot of products. So again, great for the brand, but not so great for consumers. And I'm not saying only influencers get to go on trips. It'll be great if people, normal people, as they put in the comments, could go on these trips. It's just business. It's business, right? I know. And again, I want to say, I agree with that concept. That would be a great concept. But if we're being real, what will the brand benefit from that? What benefit will the brand get from that? Let's talk about products, right? And the brand's products on these trips and how they are kind of shown off on brand trips. That's the point. That's the point of a brand trip. You're with a brand, use their products. We've seen the trips, right, where an influencer walks into the room, all the products are laid out nicely. It looks great. Listen, I have to say, one, it's expected, but I'm not against that. You've invited influencers on these trips. Of course, you're going to gift them. That's up to the brand. That's not the influencer's fault. It's also beneficial for the brand because that content creator now has a lot of their products. They're more than likely to use it. That's fine. Saves them postage throughout the year. Let's talk about this. There's no physical contract most of the time for an influencer to say only use these brands' products on the trip. There's no written contract. Sometimes there have been trips where it's like you need to make 4 stories, for example, 4 Instagram stories or 4 Instagram reels and then post about that. But at the same time, how much of a douche do you have to be to have his brand take you on this amazing, amazing trip and not post any content, right? Like that's kind of like douchey. You're on a trip of a lifetime, once in a lifetime for a lot of people, never in a lifetime also for a lot of people. And you're not gonna post anything? You're not gonna say anything? For example, right, go back to the LA trip when me and James went to LA, we did a vlog series on our joint channel. We posted content on our individual channels. When we came home, we made more content about it and referring to it now. And I remember someone commenting on the video being like, oh, so this is how your content is going to be from now on. No, we're not going to brand trips every single week, but we're not going to let one of our favorite companies take us on a brand trip with all these amazing experiences and not say a single thing about it. Like what? But imagine now going on this brand trip, right? And producing content that doesn't involve the brand at all, the products, right? Maybe I'm just super professional, but I do think that that's rude. And I'm not saying you can't wear makeup from another brand on a brand's trip, but at least wear one of the things. You can't be like, hey guys, I'm going out for dinner, get ready with me, I'm on this Tarte trip and we're going out for dinner with them, and then do a full face of makeup not using any of Tarte products. You can, I mean you can, but like, you can still do an honest review as well. You can be like, I'm trying this new Tarte something, it's not for me, but it'd be great for these kind of people. You don't have to be like, oh, it's fucking shit. You can do an honest review without being an asshole also. Tell me if I'm being wrong here, but it is that, and that did happen, by the way. But tell me if I'm being wrong here. There's no official contract, but isn't that just like the decent thing to do if somebody is paying thousands and thousands for you to be on a trip? Now, are brand trips outdated? Unpopular opinion, I'm going to say no, depending on how they're done, as we've just seen. And I think that includes what we just spoke about, the people, the brand, the content coming from this trip. I don't know what this finger's doing. Brand trips can be done in a really classy way that's like likable, enjoyable for people to watch. Done in a way that doesn't look like, oh my God, we're a load of rich influencers doing things. You know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, if you go, you can be in a really expensive restaurant, just say as an example, not on a trip, just you in general. You can be a really nice, classy, expensive restaurant, but somebody walks in, one person walks in, loud, annoying, perhaps they're screaming and shouting, perhaps they have, you know, a bird's nest in their hair. It can bring the whole vibe down off that restaurant. It can just take one thing, one situation, one person to make the whole thing a waste of time. You could also argue that a lot of influencers maybe don't deserve a brand trip. Perhaps they don't spend loads of money on products and they don't need to be, you know, rewarded a vacation. But it's just the way the world is. I don't know what to say. It's just business. Okay, let me know your opinions down below. I always like to read through them, discuss a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon.